Nobody told you this. The media won't say it. The highlight shows won't touch it. But I sat down with the raw footage, possession by possession, and what I found on that tape is going to completely change the way you watch the Indiana Fever play basketball. Because right now, in real time, the most gifted playmaking prospect women's basketball has ever produced is being slowly strangled by the most selfish brand of basketball I have witnessed in years. And the box score is covering it up every single night. Here is what you need to understand before we go any further. The box score is a liar. It has always been a liar. It takes 40 minutes of complex, beautiful, chaotic basketball and reduces it to a column of numbers that tells you almost nothing about what actually happened on the court. And right now, that lying box score is the only thing protecting a player whose behavior on the floor is actively destroying Indiana's ability to build anything real around Caitlin Clark. You open the app the morning after a Fever loss, and you see Kelsey Mitchell scored 20 points, and your brain says, okay, solid night. But I watched the tape, and the tape does not say okay. The tape says something is deeply, fundamentally broken inside this offense, and one player is responsible for all of it. Let me take you back to something every single person who has ever laced up a pair of basketball shoes understands instinctively. The ball has to find the best shot, not the most stubborn player, not the highest paid veteran, not the person who decided before the possession even started that the ball belonged to her. The best shot. That is the entire foundation of winning basketball. When 5 players commit to that principle together, when the ball moves and bodies move and the defense has to choose between 2 bad options, the sport becomes something genuinely beautiful to watch. But the moment one player breaks that contract, the moment one player catches the ball and the other 4 people on the floor already know it is never coming back, the offense dies. The movement stops. The cutters stop cutting. The screeners stop screening. And eventually the teammates stop caring. Because why would they burn energy fighting through a screen for a catch they are never going to get? This is the Indiana Fever right now. This is what Caitlin Clark is living through 40 minutes every single night. And I am going to prove it to you with the footage. Start with the fast break because nothing exposes selfish basketball faster than transition offense. Fast breaks are pure. There is no play to run, no set to execute, no coach drawing something up on a board. It is just basketball instinct. You get the stop, you push the pace, you read your teammates, and you make the right play. That is it. Caitlin Clark was born for this exact moment. Her processing speed in the open court is genuinely unlike anything this league has seen. She sees the play developing before it happens. She already knows where the pass is going while everyone else is still figuring out where to run. Give her a numbers advantage in transition, and she will make the correct decision 100 times out of 100. But Kelsey Mitchell does not give her the chance. She takes the ball in transition, puts her head down, develops complete tunnel vision, ignores Clark cutting on her left, ignores the trailer coming from behind, and takes it all the way to the rim herself. Fine. That can be fine. Aggressive guards attack. But then she misses the layup. Wide open. Fast break. Not even a difficult angle. Just a straightforward layup that every professional basketball player on this planet makes automatically. And she misses it because she was so locked into finishing it herself that she never relaxed into the play. And now think about what just happened to everyone else on that floor. You worked hard on the defensive end to earn that stop. You sprinted the floor to fill the lane correctly. You did everything right. And your veteran teammate rewarded your effort by refusing to share and then blowing the easiest shot in basketball. Caitlin Clark should have an assist on that play. Instead, she has nothing. The possession is dead. And the message to the entire team is delivered loud and clear before the first quarter is even finished. But missing fast break layups, as maddening as it is just the surface layer of this problem. The real damage is happening in the half court, and it starts with what Kelsey Mitchell does to the shot clock. I want you to do something simple right now. Count to 16 in your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That is 16 seconds. In 16 seconds, you can run a complete half-court offensive set. You can get 2 ball reversals. You can run a pick and roll, read the coverage, and attack. You can get a high-quality shot for your best shooter off a clean action. 16 seconds is a lot of time in basketball. So when Kelsey Mitchell catches the ball with 16 seconds on the shot clock, what does she do with all that time? She dribbles. She stands in place and pounds the basketball into the hardwood while the clock drains and her four teammates stand frozen because they already know the ball is not coming to them. 14 seconds. She is not attacking downhill. She is not calling out a play. She is not scanning the floor looking for a mismatch or a cutter. 12 seconds. Still dribbling. 10 seconds. 8. 6. The shot clock is almost gone, and she has accomplished absolutely nothing except telling Caitlin Clark once again that her gravity means nothing, her positioning is irrelevant, and her basketball intelligence is completely wasted on this possession. 5 seconds left, and now she is forced into a desperate heave that had no business being attempted. This is not professional offense. This is not even good pickup basketball. This is one player with a god complex holding the ball hostage while four talented professionals stand around waiting for a possession that was already dead the moment she caught the pass. And now I need you to hear a number. 14. Count to 14 right now if you want to feel how insane this is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 individual dribbles on a single half-court possession before Kelsey Mitchell finally manufactured a contested scoop layup. She made the shot. The ball went in. And I know someone in the comments is going to say, well, she scored, so what is the problem? Here's the problem. While she was on dribble number 9, look at Caitlin Clark. Her feet have stopped. Her eyes have gone distant. She is not fighting through screens anymore. She is not working to get open anymore. Because she has learned through painful repetition that the ball is not going to find her anyway. And while she is on dribble number 11, look at Aaliyah Boston. Same thing. Completely disengaged. Standing in place. Not because she stopped caring about winning, but because the system is teaching her that caring is pointless. Kelsey Mitchell's 14 dribble possessions are not just inefficient in isolation. They are actively training her teammates to be passive. They are killing the competitive instinct of the players around her one possession at a time. And against elite defensive teams, a passive offense is not just bad. It is over before the game starts. Which brings me to the play that made me actually put down my coffee and rewind the footage 3 times because I could not believe what I was watching. The New York Liberty have Jonquel Jones on the floor. Jonquel Jones is 6 feet and 8 inches tall. Jonquel Jones is a former league most valuable player. Jonquel Jones is one of the 2 or 3 most terrifying interior defenders in the history of this league. When a defender of that size is protecting the paint, there is exactly one correct read, and every guard at every level above recreational basketball understands it immediately. You do not challenge her. You pull her out. You make her cover ground on the perimeter, or you kick the ball out and destroy the defense with an open 3 from the shooter she left to come help. You punish the defense for putting a giant in the paint. That is basketball. That is how the game is supposed to be played. Caitlin Clark is standing wide open on the wing. She's right there. The pass is simple. The result would have been automatic. Instead, Kelsey Mitchell catches the ball in the mid-post, puts her head straight down, and throws a wild scoop shot directly into the chest of a 6'8" MVP who was not even moving. She never identified the defender. She never saw the open teammate. She never processed any information beyond her own desire to get to the rim. And the most gut-wrenching part of that entire sequence is that Caitlin Clark's hands came up instinctively because some part of her believed the pass was coming. And it never did. Now the turnover. Because all of this selfishness, all of this dribbling, all of this refusal to read the defense was always going to produce this exact outcome. 13 dribbles into a trap and a lost possession handed free of charge to the New York Liberty. The defense did not run any brilliant scheme to create this turnover. They did not need to. They simply stood there and waited for her to dribble into a corner because they knew she would never pass her way out of trouble. And if you watch her eyes during those 13 dribbles, they are pointed at the floor and the rim. She has no awareness of the double team forming. She has no idea where Caitlin Clark relocated to get open. She has no idea where Aaliyah Boston is cutting. She is playing basketball alone in her own head while a real game is happening all around her. 13 dribbles and a turnover that directly created transition points for the opponent. And this is the moment where the coaching staff has to be honest with themselves. A point guard who averages 0 assists across multiple games is not a point guard. She is a ball handler in a team jersey. There is a massive difference. And Stephanie White has to decide which version of the Indiana Fever she is trying to build, because you cannot have both. But here is what pushed this from frustrating to genuinely disturbing. The game is over. The Liberty have won. The final outcome is completely decided. Nothing that happens in the next 2 minutes changes the score that goes into the record books. And Kelsey Mitchell is still out there playing with the exact same frantic, desperate, selfish energy she brought in the first quarter. Why? 19 points. She had 19 points, and she needed 20 so that the box score looked clean for the casual fan scrolling through the app the next morning. So with the game gone, with her teammates ready to get to the locker room, with Caitlin Clark standing in the corner one more time, she forces one final meaningless possession and manufactures a bucket that changes nothing about the outcome but adds 1 point to her personal stat line. And tomorrow that casual fan sees 20 points and types "nice game" in the comments and moves on. They never know. They never see it. The box score protected her completely. But we watch the tape. Lynn Dunn and everyone in the Indiana Fever front office need to sit with that tape for as long as it takes to understand what is actually happening to this franchise. You do not get Caitlin Clark twice. You do not get a player of that vision and that unselfishness and that genuine joy in making her teammates better and waste her peak years watching a backcourt partner take 13 dribbles into a turnover and 14 dribbles into a contested scoop while the shot clock bleeds out. The entire offensive identity of this team has to be rebuilt around ball movement and accountability and the understanding that every possession belongs to 5 people, not 1. Veterans who treat the basketball like a personal possession need to be held to the same standard as everyone else regardless of their contract or their history or their point total on any given night. Caitlin Clark is doing her part. She is finding cutters. She is making the extra pass. She is drawing defensive attention and creating opportunities that never get taken advantage of because the ball never finds her. She is holding up her end of the deal completely. The question is whether everyone around her is willing to do the same. Because if Kelsey Mitchell cannot learn to play within a real team concept, if she cannot train herself to look up and find the open player before the shot clock is desperate, then the Indiana Fever need to find a guard who will. Every night this continues is another night stolen from the most exciting player this league has seen in a generation. The tape is right there. The truth is right there. The only question left is whether anyone in Indiana is willing to watch it.